He's won it off the clock alone. And if that came down to a 1v1 with something, I don't think he's winning it. But he avoided it altogether. Beautiful play.
I'll be honest, I was scared when he let the spike go. When he let it go, I was like, that's a risk that I don't know if it's worth taking, but hey, he was ready for them to try and plant in the safest spot possible and just hits a crazy wallback. This is just a fear factor, though. Just what something can do, even in the most awkward fights possible. Again, though, the rounds the EDG have won is off the back of pistols and 2 1v1 clutches out of that man on your screen.
4-3. Yeah, it looks like a really close scoreline, but wow, they've been hanging on to that cliff's edge. We're at the start of this. We hear some sheriffs firing off. You know there's weaknesses there. But they also know that the big gun was saved through. They've spotted it, and they've taken Munyet down as well. For something, he's not going to find any players out in the open giving free kills away. And that op, I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to save it through to the next. He'll have to create his own opportunities.
Back towards that B side they go. Corner held, so something that would need to be hard cleared from the side of pabarrrr, and the read already in from EDG. Third player already into position. I felt like there'd have to be some pretty big errors over on the other side. You can see the passive angles that are being held. The knife even going to give them a fair amount of information. They know there's a couple of players waiting here, even ready to invest the orbital strike if they need it. They want to try and make this one clean. It has been a lot of close rounds. Even still, though, something gets the open of it. Is there anything more to be had? It's not looking too likely. I don't know how he's still alive here, finally. The dancing something will go down, and komen rises to the occasion. It's 4-4. Obviously not the strongest buy for pabarrrr, but it's more important for EDG to finally have a clean round.
Well, 100%, yeah. I think the orbital strike here saves them so much trouble. You got something going out, but he's essentially alone when he emerges from long. These players can't come to meet him. Divide was low after a spam, very quickly taken down. komen hitting some shots. That could be the confidence builder as well. Yeah, he had a really rough first map. One of the tougher maps for him. And even here, it wasn't off to a flying start. He had 2 kills before that round just there. Now, you hear the screams, you hear them get hyped up, and hopefully they'll be able to pull this across the line.
Interestingly, he was always the player picking up that operator, even it didn't matter what agent he was on. We saw it on a Gecko in the past, but it does seem like the mantle has been passed over to smoggy, which makes me a little bit sad. Maybe it's just for the early peak. Might be just going for something a little bit more aggressive in this round, and obviously having that extra movement to try and get out of there. On the other side, though, we are seeing that Reckoning. Now, this was one of the major issues in some of the early rounds, is that Reckoning for Forsaken. It just is filthy. It gives all the information and causes chaos.
Makes sense as well for komen not to be running that operator.
Sure.
Just because even last round, right, the reason they're so stacked up on B, because they started to rotate to A, but the knife found 2 players inside hookah. That's when they pull out the orbital strike. That's when they pull the rotates to B, and they're ready for that blitz out. pabarrrr ran into a stack because of him. So if he goes down early, just trying to get an op pick, you lose so much in the late round. If smoggy goes down, well, it's all right. You're not losing any massively important utility. And that's if he goes down. Some control over bathroom and B long. The extremities of the map belong to EDG, but pabarrrr have their sights set on moving through this A site, which was another element of why the rotates didn't come through, because there's always this utility there from Howdong.
Still going. They're all the way outside of Showers, and that'll be Mind Freak down. A big loss in the early round. Howdong fighting within the cages, within the Reckoning, and he'll lose his life for it. Maybe a little bit of an overextension, but with 1 controller down and Forsaken's utility already expended, this doesn't leave them with much. In fact, they're going to go pushing, something trying to do everything on his own, and now with them pretty much boxed in, I don't know if pabarrrr have a hope in hell of getting out of this.
Certainly not if they play aggressive. We can see that with the crossfire, the triple crossfire, backing up by an op, but they've made the right call, instead hightailing it to the other side of the map where they could be able to get a plant down. It's the post plant that's worrying. The advantage here goes to EDG, 4 versus 2. At least long control is going to be sought after, but a shock dart well placed puts Divide down to 60. Another disadvantage to play with. The TP was heard. Smoggy is the one TPing. That's a little bit of a head scratcher with the operator. But he's holding down that control. I guess we'll be going in to take control of Hookah.
It's the doubt as well. Like, he's not necessarily moving too quickly. It's just the doubt in his opponent's mind. They have to face the other direction as well. Damage done by Divide, but not quite enough. Forsaken needs to pull off an absolute miracle on low HP, and it's not going to be happening this time out. After being blitzed in the first few rounds, EDG now take the lead.
And that's the road to recovery we were hoping to see for this defensive side. 4-1 down to 5-4. And a lot of things going right for them. They're starting to get that control over the map, and even seeing nobody. Nobody right now has one kill. He had so many high-impact plays on the previous map, but they're still able to put these rounds on the board. And I think Howdong's setup, really, there hasn't been a solution from the side of PaperX. A couple times they've been able to send Monyet in, and he's able to make it ahead of these traps, just barely dodging them. I can almost hear the Alamont playing in the background, but now they're starting to get caught because these traps are moving. They're in different positions each time, and that setup just isn't one that you can go blitzing into, which is what PaperX very much like to do.
And it's what they're going to do again. Early nade over the top will actually clear out the trip. Trying to adapt themselves. Again, though, don't have any ultimates online. Showstopper and the null command. The trip, the second one, though, is superb. Kon going to get a free kill. Howdong again, though. An audacious attempt trying to catch them off guard. Chichu not taking the same risk. Waiting for a little bit of support. And already they're going to counter out anything on the other side with that null command.
Yeah, no danger of those more aggressive flashes coming through, or of something taking your sight away. Not leering onto them. No smokes for Mindfreak as he's down and out, and Divide does well to at least find one, but that player is resable. And, well, that could pull Divide out into the open to attempt to deny. Down to a 4 versus 1 with 11 HP, and he's even detected. Got ahead of the op at least, so damage will be done. But there's still 3 more players waiting for him. Spike in Forsaken's possession at least. And now I've ran out of positives.
He was trying to pull a rotation with the TP, but nobody never left that B site. It's going to get a free jewel, though. It's starting to get a little bit messy for the side of EDG. They've given up a couple of kills, not quite knowing where he is. The time is the issue, and more so, nobody on the flank. Like, to get anything here, you'd need pretty much a miracle once more. Just trying to find a safe place to plant, and that doesn't exist. Nobody's going to be coming in from behind. Chicho with the wall bang, and it will be EDG extending that lead even further.
It's 5 in a row. The timeline looking convincing. They've come up with solutions, and this comp gives them so much to fall back on. The ult out of Kon. You can see why you want him alive late into the round, even as he gets res back up, immediately lobs out the knife, and finds exactly where that final player is, nullifying any potential for Forsaken to catch them off guard. With 6-4 on the scoreline, that's when PaperX might even have called a pause coming into this round, but they haven't. And there's a lot of weaknesses for them. This is again going to be somewhere they hope to just blitz. The wall up to block out the dart is beautiful, but they still have to swing in to Smoggy. And that's where the real trouble begins.
Yeah. Oh! Okay. You can't give something anything! And the beta cross as well from Monyet is gorgeous. Finally, they managed to deal with him. Something down. And now they've gone for the TP, but this is somewhat of a ruse. They've left Monyet behind. It seems like it's being watched for, but the other 2 players looking to try and head potentially into the A site. Only 1 defender and a second slowly being pulled in.
2 smokes for Mindfreak. Could lob one on A to cause problems. You can see there's one in play, but now the second comes down, and it's buying space for Monyet to close the distance. Stinger in hand. This is a perfect fight for him to take. But he goes into the smoke at the wrong moment. 2 players ready and waiting. Molly through. That'll buy time, buy space. They now need. The advantage sits with EDG. Little tag onto Mindfreak. It's okay. Smoke down as he repositions. But ultimately, a kill needs to be found before EDG can amp back up to fight through. They're inside the cage. The flash is good, and the kills are even better. Absolutely gorgeous. Another late round where you see the benefit of having Kon online.
Yes.
That flash was clinical.
Yeah, his utility's been fantastic. Again, showing depth to what is a player we know can run around and outgun pretty much anyone within the scene, but He's been in the setup. This is just... It's just so absurd. And then a second one, it just shouldn't be allowed. They must be happy they killed him through the smoke, because otherwise I think something might have just aced that round.
Yeah, with the way he was going, to headshot someone with a sheriff, double blast packed up in the air. That's just outrageous carry on from this man, but it is par for the course. At the same time, despite some nice shots from something and a decent map overall, it's still 7-4. The advantage now doubled up on in this final round for EDG. They've claimed an orb and an orbital strike on the back of it. Chichu will have that to work with if they end up in a post plant, but hold on to fight. They're rushing it down, trying to take these duels. In fact, it's Chichu who has the ult that's now left on 30 HP. Panic plays it just to buy a little bit more time so they can fight on this side, and it works with Kon hitting a shot and Chichu doing the same. There's no long push anymore. Chichu, oh my god, those bullets are coming so damn close, but they think he's dropped out now. They've spammed too much for him to still be in position, and he might just get the jump with a second player behind him as well. They're going to emerge from the smoke. Chichu, the sacrificial lamb, and a trade through the smoke, and he almost doubles up on it. Kon is shut down though, and we're into a 2v2.
He's managed to dodge it. He's always been a snake in the grass, and he gets the timing perfectly online. The tags on both sides. It goes to the repeat to give Smoggy the kill. From a 4-1 down deficit, it has been a complete turnaround for EDG. 8 rounds now onto the board, and what a ridiculous resurgence it's been from the Chinese powerhouse.
Well, Haodong been impressive, sneaking his way behind these players again and again. It's time for us to toss it over to the analyst desk to see what they make of EDG's chances.
I mean, EDG's chances looking pretty solid so far if they keep playing like that, Kakuka.
Yeah, exactly. I think that there's been so many like turnarounds. We were seeing how they were interpreting the map, how they have all these ways of acquiring that information, but they were committing the same mistake that they were making in the previous map, and it's leaving pabarrrr with a lot of space, and they will take it, they will use it against you, and that is the reason why they were getting on those rounds. But Haodong, as we were saying, and as Mitch was highlighting, he was key to the turnaround, not only because of the clutches that he won, is actually being it at the exact right moment, right time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see numerous moments him holding down for the showers control, making it really awkward for pabarrrr to try and go for that big A exec that was working all the time in the first half, basically, the first half of the first half. And he was just an absolute monster. I mean, an absolute difference maker. But got to give credit to EDG with the right adaptations in terms of their macro ideas. They decided to push up the aggressive op into angles, out through showers, out through B-long at the same time. Haodong was contributing, doing his piece as well. Really good moves by EDG to recognize what those weaknesses were, and they've set themselves up now with an 8-4. I mean, after losing a pistol round, it's almost unheard of. This is a dominant half by EDG. They're going to be going into the next now, almost setting themselves up for that map 3.
Yeah, exactly. And on the other side, we saw a pabarrrr that started up super well. They were aggressive, you know, a lot of good utility. The shotguns, everything was going
doing
a little
the things
bit
that we know them to do.
Exactly, the things that the pabarrrr like. But I didn't see the effect that probably the Reyna was intended to have. So I need to see what they intend to do with the defense. Are they going to be extra aggressive? Are they going to put a lot of pressure onto EDG? And if that happens, what is going to be EDG's response? I think that, again, we look at Haodong on the Cypher. If those pushes are going to come in, of course, we need to keep a close eye on our flanks.
Yeah, and, you know, listen, I'm with you. I want to see some aggression. I want to see pabarrrr just come out of the gate, punch him in the mouth, see what happens.
I think you will.
You have to.
Yes.
I feel like you have to at this point. Otherwise, you're kidding yourself here. We'll see what pabarrrr can pull up together. 2 rounds, they're right back in this bad boy. But EDG don't want to give him that time of day. Let's send it back over to Mitch and Tom.
Well, GP wants to see pabarrrr come hot out of the gates, punch him right in the mouth. That's what he said, Tom. Are you expecting to see that face after such a devastating first half?
Yes.
They're getting it anyways.
Yes. Just immediately, B Short is being pressured. We're going to see some utility faked out, but again, they're just going to go running back. The thing is, the slow pace of EDG in the last map might just run true again, being patient, try and garner extra space. There is a nade available for Munyet to slow them down, but once more, it's not just going to be the immediate run-through. Almost a complete opposite to what we saw from pabarrrr.
EDG are extremely patient, perhaps knowing that if you leave that clock run down low enough, pabarrrr are going to get aggressive. Now, TP is heard towards A, steps are made, but the flank is underway. Trap is watching it. That's something for them to work on. And the trap is destroyed. Here comes a quick triple blitz on the back as the players desperately hold on to control over the site. Reinforcements are on their way and just now arriving, but a quick switch from EDG sends them towards the defender's spawn. And Forsaken somehow stands strong inside of Lamps. 4 kills on the Frenzy. And another pistol round for PaperX. Normally, Tom, this is where we'd be getting the violins out for EDG. They lost the pistol to start with. They lost the 3rd round to follow up. And now they lost another pistol. For most teams, that's a death sentence. Yet here they are with a 3-round lead.
Yeah, I think Forsaken, just with his Frenzy, unable to isolate the duels with him, and he's just able to take everything over the line. A much-needed pistol for the side of PaperX if they are going to have an opportunity to try and turn this one back around. We've seen EDG, though, do an awful lot with very, very little. But this would have to be one of the best of them.
Well, that pretty much puts a pin in that one. He still has another bullet. That was a collat to start us off. A little bit of a longer reload now that he's fired both shots, but he's right back into the fight just in time to catch KonKon. The ace, well, it's not going to happen. Device swept in to steal it away, but you know what? Forsaken's already got his ult online, so he doesn't really need any more kills. Might as well give them to someone else. I don't know. Munyet with a showstopper? That sounds good, but that's only his first orb to find. 8-6.
He has done that in both halves.
Yep.
Forsaken has gone in with his ult in round 3, which kind of makes you think maybe he hasn't done that much else for the rest. Because if you're getting enough kills to get your ult in round 3 twice. But keeping these rounds nice and clean, and again, it's a flawless round to put PaperX in a pretty decent spot. I am looking at their 2 duelist players both having a judge for this round. I feel like if you're on the EDG side, you've got to be so damn careful. Now, they normally are. I'll give them that. They're normally very slow, methodical, using their utility. But I feel like avoiding both of these players is not going to be easy.
No, most certainly not. Just taking a look at EDG real quick as well. Damage doesn't even need to be done to Chichu before he goes down to that Outlaw of Forsaken. And I think that's something that we'll see manifesting in how this round breeds. That Smoker can't be the one that's going out to take those wide approaches, to check angles. Instead, it's got to be much slower, relying on things like your Sova drone, your recons to clear those angles. Forsaken is posted up and ready to duel, same spot as before. And for EDG, that could spell a disaster. Add to that, as you said, Tom, they've got to be careful of those judges. Mindfreak is not being caught, and so they'll look for the B site control, and that's when they walk straight into Munyet. He's crept down behind the box and pops up for a nasty surprise.
Yeah, doesn't even need to switch out the weapon, really. Will eventually do it and be able to escape as well, but Forsaken has been lost. Munyet's done well. There isn't really a reaction either. There has been a push through. I'm just looking at the position that's been taken from Howdong. He's completely in behind. They've left a gap, and that gap has been exploited. Such good positioning from him. A quick rotation looking to come back through from the other side. Howdong taking as much space as possible, but this battle between Mindfreak and Chichu is going to be everything. And again, Chichu just getting in behind his opponent. The advantage swinging into the favor of this attacking side. Sure, it's a bonus, but for a second it was looking really dangerous.
Dangerous indeed, yeah. In fact, it looked like they had it more or less locked down. But again, it's Howdong to bail EDG. On this map, he has just been spectacular. In Inspector form almost. Never are these players able to actually take the fight on the open, take the duel against him. He's always slipping behind. 9-6, and it's PaperX slipping behind now. 3 rounds down.
Yeah, a nice recovery from them. And again, it's been mentioned, you're looking at Howdong on the leaderboard, you're like, oh, he's having an all right game, but his impact has been paramount. Like the amount of space he took there, cleared out Something's aggressive position, because that was the thing. Something was cleverly sort of moving himself further and further forward, sort of cause issues for his opponents, but then gets caught from the one spot that wasn't really checked on. 9-6. Still plenty available for this round. You're going to see the operator in onto Something. Judge still online. Mal making sure that there's nobody in this aggressive position. Now the Prowler is going to give things away. Nobody is going to wait in the TP. I don't know how long this is going to stay for.
Well, I mean, nobody's had a tough game. Last map, I'm thinking he had a 4K, a 3K, a 2K. Right now, he has 1K. 1 kill on the board for this whole half. And he was bailing them out of these situations that now Haodong is taking up that mantle. Again, 9-6 in the lead. Couldn't give a damn if you have 0 kills. But for nobody, I want to see him bring that back out. We know it's in the tank at some stage. For PaperX right now, as we said, there's Monyet on the judge. They're going to be respecting that because we've seen it last round. It had huge impact. He was able to dominate control over this section of the map. EDG must have another idea on how to play that part. And in fact, they go towards B. They see all this utility come their way. And they're starting to maneuver their way back towards the A site, which has thinned out slightly.
The reckoning, though, we're getting down to the last 30 seconds. Going in this direction will leave them with not a lot really to play with. They're going to try and just almost run their way through it, but they're slowly being revealed every single time they try and make their way through. Finally, the reckoning will fade, but Mind Freak now in position. A cove for Forsaken to try and almost fight within, and they are falling like flies. Forsaken winning every battle, leaving just Chi-Chu remaining. 8 seconds and 5 members of the other team still to find. There is no shot that he gets anything from this one, and finally, well, Monyet will fall, but Divide immediate on the reaction.
Yeah, you know, initially I thought Forsaken's probably put out the reckoning because when they push on the side of EDG, they're like, well, first of all, information. Secondly, when they push, they're likely to be blitzing in towards that position. Utility coming his way if Chi-Chu gets an orbital strike, but Smoggy could be on you in a second. In fact, I think he just put it out so he could farm up some orbs and pick it up. He's almost halfway to having it online again. Just a lights out performance from Forsaken, but still 2 rounds behind. EDG, weaker weapons. This is where they've been scary at times, and an orbital strike online, as we mentioned. So still a lot of danger if this attack side can find ground.
Forsaken looking for a little bit of early control, and the same from Something. Starting to really lock down avenues of the map. You can see Divide doing the same on the extremities of B. It does leave a little bit more of an opening, but the thing is, Monyet has completely switched up his position. He was playing the judge over the last couple of rounds. The flash is sublime once again from Kankan, unfortunately unable to really capitalize on it.
Haodong again! How does he keep doing this? It's unfathomable. This is a classic lure. I've seen Nats do that, but he had an orb and a wall. Come on! Again and again, 2 kills for Haodong, and I said they've been scary. They're goddamn terrifying. Forsaken, he's held this position with a frenzy, but that was against pistols.
They know where he is.
He is completely surrounded. What? Nice spray. It was Divide to finish it off, but Haodong has a 3rd kill. He started this with a goddamn classic.
1 enemy remaining.
Wow. And there's only 1 man left. It is going to be Haodong. It is going to be another MasterCard Thrifty, that I'll be honest, makes absolutely no sense. We're seeing a man switch over to... I like the representation you use. We've seen Nats do that. Nats a great cipher. I don't know if we've seen him just manage to walk his way down mid. And that was the thing, that was some initial pressure there from Forsaken, really watching for this spot, but he just catches a timing every single time. It is absurd how well this man is playing. Well, maybe a little bit of frustration for PaperX. 10-7 in the lead, and while I hope that is a leather-bound notepad, otherwise it's going to be snapped into.
You know, it's an interesting contrast as well, because if we think back to half number 1, the real issue that PaperX ran into, again, I think they got lucky with some of the rounds where Monyet was able to bypass the utility. It could have been an opening pick for the side. But one of the main challenges that they had was playing up against Haodong's utility, was having this guy consistently being able to put through these traps that are slowing you down, and it was the A site that he was holding onto control of. And how poetic that when they swap sides, it's Haodong coming through and going, yeah, you know, you should probably play the agent I'm playing, guys, because I can just walk up behind you if you don't. It's unreal how much space he's found. He did it on A bat. He now has done it on Lamps with a classic and nothing else. I don't know what else he can do to surprise his opponents, but I'm certain that he will be doing more of this because the consistency is off the charts.
Yeah, and it's got to be infuriating for PaperX. A way back into the map with your opponents on a weak buy, and you lose to 1 man in his classic. A free gun, by the way. Yeah. I think it was his spacing more than anything else. Look at the aggression, though. This is the W Gaming. We were expecting to see an immediate push all the way down B long, but again, it doesn't really come with any rewards. Having to fall back and use and burn a lot of utility in the early stages of these rounds, and they've won neither of those fights. Come. He's got both in his locker, just takes down the duo of PaperX, but it does turn out it was a trio. There was a third piece to the puzzle, unfortunately. Manya is now just sat in a corner with a judge.
And the very best of luck to him in the battle to come. Because by the looks of it, that judge is going to have to find 5 players. EDG are in a 5v3 with no intentions of being picked off individually. They're moving together, making their way into this site. There's a drone, and that's really the...
Giving him a gap.
Oh, hold on. He might actually be in the position to get this. They've spotted him, and only one. Perfect from EDG.
Yeah, nice work. I like the idea from Forsaken. Just create a little pocket in the corner that he can hide with him, but I think the fact that he shoots at Smoggy somewhat gives the game away. Might have been spotted anyway. And for Mindfreak, there's not really much he can do but to just try and save something. The real problem, though, is that this wasn't... you might be looking at this and thinking, oh, well, the way that round went, it was probably a low buy. No, that was everything. PaperX threw the kitchen sink at that one and have now just got to try and hold on to this rifle. An 11th round for EDG inevitable, and I don't know if they're going to have much to play with in the next round. Luckily, both teams, also something, has been able to do a lot with these low buys, so maybe we'll get something magical once again, but it is at the stage now where PaperX need it.
Oh, EDG with 11 on the board, a 4-round lead, and 2 rounds to close this one out. Bring us to split. And it'd be a nice swap over. You know, the shoes on the other foot. As EDG lost 13-8, PaperX might be losing 13-7. You said they invested everything in that last one. They do come out of it with still 2 ultimates to work with. Yet and Devi will have something, and you know what? Literally their teammate, but they'll have those ults to work with. A couple rifles, stingers there.
They're going to rush
Tom, it's not looking great, but the element of surprise is the best thing that they can hope to rely on.
It's not surprising at this point, though. They haven't had much more in terms of depth. Mindfreak's going to get one, but that's all she wrote. Look how ready EDG were. I know you've got a slightly lower buy. I wonder what you're going to do, lads. I wonder if you're going to push something. Just the cam out immediately from Howdong to get his team ready, and then everybody, the firing squad, just watching. A very easy round for EDG, and sure, something's still standing. He's gone as well. Smoggy winning that fight out once again. And what can Devi really hope to achieve here? Left with a close range SMG and 4 full HP players.
Well, GB wanted to see PaperX on this defense come out with aggression, just punch him in the mouth. But they've ended out more like Aldo. 5 chances now for EDG to close this map.
Turns out they had grills. That's what it is. They punched them in the mouth and it's left an indent in their own hand.
And this is exactly what you're talking about, Tom. Like, at this stage of the game, you're just like, oh, are PaperX pushing? Oh, wow, I'm shocked. And no way. Protocols are there. They're ready. EDG a step ahead on Bind. This was a map that we had some question marks around. Playing against PaperX on this, I would say, before this, it's never easy. But EDG are certainly trying to make that look like a foolish statement.
But especially you lose both pistols and you're 12-7 up. That's a damn good showing. And they've had some rounds as well where something popped off and they've managed to weather that storm. It's something that many teams have tried and many teams have failed. And within their matchup versus PaperX, it's never gone their way. I believe they've had a map before in the past, but I think if they head on to Split, it's been one of their best maps within the region, although it's been great for PaperX. It is the perfect place to end it, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Already we're seeing Forsaken with an Odin, so Mitch already believes.
If there was a round to win, Tom, this would be the one. You know, normally on this map, you're going to have traps to play off, but there's not going to be those easy reveals to play around. Instead, it's more to do with spamming. And, well, you're going to have to get the head of Smoggy, and he's crouched down behind that box. It's not too easy for now. The suppressive fire really about to be tested, as if you fire away, that rocket will come right back at you, but somehow the rocket's done nothing. The show not stopped just yet. With damage onto Mind Freak, there's still a showstopper on Munyet once this ult fades. I like the spams, I like the attempt, but nothing's been found.
Oh, they've got Nightfall as well, but Smoggy's managed to dodge it, needs to hit the shot and won't be able to. In fact, Kong goes down instead. An advantage at this stage for PaperX, but they still have to get back into the site. Chichu sprinting around, hasn't been isolated yet. It's left down to just one man, but that one man is Haldong. Getting that little bit more aggressive. He's using his opponent's util, even has the cam, and it's just about going to reveal. Knows that they're no longer on this diffusal, but desperately needs a kill, and he isn't going to be able to find it. That diffuser will come through, and PaperX will live to fight another day.
Good, I was already calling in to the admins, change his name on that hood, take out the last 4 letters. All you need to say is how. Every time this guy's on the screen, it's just unbelievable, but this time, they put a stop to him. That's the first out of 5. 4 more needed. The side of PaperX. And look, you have the showstopper there buying them the kill. Good
That wasn't meant for Kong, by the way.
No, it wasn't. It was the player he'd already spotted, who was already dead at that point. It could have been a double kill. 4 in a row. Chichu's about to have ult online as well, but look how much PaperX have in this round.
Launching smoke.
And all it takes is one, but...
Oh, 1 eco from EDG, is it? That's all it takes.
Maybe. Munyet back on the judge, but that's not really been too much of a detriment for him. And I actually feel like it's fairly important for PaperX to clear out that cam. Every piece of utility Haldong's had has had impact. Instead, though, it's the slow walk up. Looking to potentially get that orb online, as you mentioned, 1 away. I don't think there should be much. They'll be able to stop it at this stage. This is such a disgusting position for Munyet to play. I don't know how Haldong survives this time. Surely he should be dead to right, but no! He hard checks him! He's prepared every single moment! And they got that advantage again. Something he's going to try and make a hero play. Haldong goes running through and dies to his own teammate. If he'd made it through, you bet he probably gets a couple. And Devi holding the line on the other side. It's now a wraparound for EDG. Look where they are. 30 seconds left. They expected the B site to be open at this stage. They have to get the kill onto Devi, and he is low.
With Chichu down, Devi really has it all stacked up once the spike falls. 16 seconds left. No chance for that to go their way. On EDG's side, they have 3 more chances now to push this across the line. And we're starting to see different facets of PaperX come online. This is what we were hoping for. But this guy just...
Look at this. So, he gets orbital strikes by the opponent. He's like, I think there might have actually been a tiny pocket, but in
that's
that
easy
moment,
for us to see.
In that moment, he's like, oh dear.
You know, if he had a cam where our observer was, he would have known there was a safe gap. But
he also wouldn't have been able to move.
Probably would have had to jump and check it real quick. Wouldn't be ideal. But yeah, the double orbital strikes, they don't happen too often, creating a pocket like that. So understandable. 3 more chances for EDG. Rifles out again. So I'm expecting them to win whenever they eco, but it might be hard to even push them there. PaperX, same old buy. And it's the big gun in play. Forsaken with the opening.
Smoggy down. The flank coming in, but both battles have gone the way of EDG. Mind Freak needs a little more, but it's only going to be the one. Something and Forsaken. 2 players. 2 names that strike fear into the hearts of any opponent. Oh! Trying to get that wallbang through, but is getting dangerously close to a reload. I think he's even going to have to just fall back, give this one up for now.
Well, 10 bullets left, right? He had to pop that reload. But he's ready to fight again now. 100 bullets primed and ready. Something on the other side of the map as the flank comes down. He's going to take a while to get there, but Forsaken's not willing to give up the space. Now he's being spotted as he sees the cam turn towards him. This might be the end for him. He's being revealed, but good damage. That's deterred Haldong from actually taking the peak. It's allowed for that cam to be completely negated. The swing is good for something, and he spotted both players. A 1v2, 4 bullets now. It's not looking good. This could be EDG pushing it across the line. Another dismiss into a heal reload, and something's got a chance. No Lear to work with. The defuse being stuck to half, but the swing is perfect. And Kon to close the map. 13-9. Map 3 is coming up next.
That's the thing. It was one of those maps where you feel like PaperX, they tried to punch them in the face. That's what they tried to do. They threw everything they had, these hyper-aggressive moves at their opponents. And honestly, the duck and weave, EDG every single time, fantastic performance from them. And well, now we're going to be going off to a break. There's one more map in this series. It's Split, and I am excited.
Match found.
Halo, disebut. Kenapa ya Lotus terus
You have good taste, my friend.
yang mati tungguan di fuck. Beres mana guys? Gue naik dulu ya guys satu. Biar enak. Halo Marciano.
Sage, you lock them down, and I'll take them out. Just like we practiced.
That's not teleport's ready. Teleport's ready. Teleport's ready. Teleport's ready. Teleport's ready.
Spike drop.
Stop.
That one's dead. I have the spike.
Cutting their vision.
Enemy spotted A.
Stay down.
One enemy remaining. Reloading.
Hello guys.
Spike planted.
Barrier created.
Teleport's
There
ready.
you are, you little shit.
Reloading.
Di bangke. Jangan lupa lagi guys.
Reyna, time to hunt.
Ayo, lo.
That's a good spot. That works. Out of charges.
Through the calm, I see. Through the storm, I fight.
Teleport's ready.
Making cover.
Reloading.
Breaking them. Destabilizing.
Reloading.
Target down.
Reloading.
Enemy spotted A. Ay, corazón.
Here. Teleport's ready. Spike planted.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Anjing ngentot sebelah anjing. Nge-step dia, Jok. Robert.
I know what must be done.
Jangan mati dong, kai.